Today, we're going to talk a little bit about online standards. Okay, do you know what a standard is? If I say we're talking about online standards.
Always online?
Not exactly. Standard can mean like sort of the usual thing that we do. You're right about that. But in this case, it means something else. Does anybody know what a standard is? Like if I say, in this classroom, we have certain standards. You need to raise your hand. You can't eat. You can't drink. Manners, or what else? Rules, yeah. So standards are something like the guidelines or the rules that we use. All right, before we begin, there's just some vocabulary I want to make sure everyone has. We already talked about standard, which in this case is kind of like a rule. And there's some other vocabulary that might be a little unfamiliar. I just want to make sure we know it. What does it mean to post? Like, for example, on Facebook or on a blog, what is a post? The way the lessons work is on this side, we have some text that explains something about a topic related to what we do online. And this side of the page gives us an example of what we might actually see online. Okay, so what we're going to do is read this first section, and what I'd like to do is have you just read until I say stop. So now if you look at the posts on the other page, this one, it's a post for a show called America's Talented, which is not actually a show, but in the United States we do have a program called America's Got Talent. Have you seen that? There's also one in Britain, right? Britain's Got Talent. So obviously this is based on something like that. So what I'd like you to do is take a look, read through all of these comments, and you will see, if you look on page 112, it says, read the posts on the website on page 113. Write the letter of the standard shown in these posts. Now, sometimes the standard, it's actually not demonstrated. So when you read the post, you should see which one of these standards is this referring to? And it might be yes, it is showing it, or no, it is not. But try to decide which one reflects the rule over here. Now look at number 3, and what I'd like you to do is talk about this in partners, okay? So pairs, oh good, we have even number. So you guys can be partners, all right? And talk about your experiences online. And it says, think about your own experiences online. Do people always follow the standards? What rules do you see people break? Okay? So first just talk about that and then we'll share it with the rest of the class. Okay, so very good. The last thing we're going to do, we're just about finished with this lesson, is look at activity 4, which is on this page. And it says, choose 2 of the ideas below and write a post about each one. Be sure to follow the community standards. So they give you some examples here. You could do a TV show or movie you saw recently. You could do a band you saw perform, or an issue you read about online or in the newspaper. Okay, so maybe it would help me to kind of be thinking through what are some things that have been in the news recently here. Okay, so here are some, if you want to write about news, here are some news topics you can keep in mind, but you can pick anything you want. You could pick a television show, a movie. So write about anything you want, but I might ask you to read it aloud, okay? So think of 2 things you can post, okay? You?
Same thing. I really enjoyed a diamond jewelry concert.
Well, good.
Football championships begin. France, England, Monday night. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh, okay. All right, well, very good. All right, well, that's the end of the lesson for today. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.